When most people think about MI6, they imagine tuxedos, martinis, and cinematic car chases. But the real Secret Intelligence Service, SIS, commonly known as MI6, operates very differently. No theme music, no visible heroics, no public acknowledgement of success. And unlike MI5, which works inside the United Kingdom, MI6 operates almost entirely outside it. So how does MI6 actually function abroad? How does it gather intelligence in foreign countries? How does it recruit agents? How does it run covert operations without triggering diplomatic crises? And how does it do all of that while officially not existing in most of the places it works? Let's break it down. First, what is MI6? MI6, formerly the Secret Intelligence Service, is the UK's foreign intelligence agency. Its core mission is to collect intelligence overseas in order to protect British national security. That includes counter-terrorism, counter-proliferation of weapons, counter-espionage, cyber threats, hostile state activity, geopolitical risk assessment, and support for UK military operations abroad. MI6 does not make arrests. It does not conduct domestic surveillance. It does not publicly comment on operations. Its job is to collect secrets, quietly, and deliver them to decision-makers in London. Now here's the first key point. MI6 officers do not usually sneak across borders illegally. Most operate under official cover. That means they are posted abroad through British embassies and high commissions. If you walk into a UK embassy in a foreign capital, inside that building may be diplomats, trade officials, defence attachés, and also intelligence officers working under diplomatic status. These officers are often listed as political officers, trade officials, cultural attachés, or other diplomatic roles. This is called diplomatic cover. It gives them legal immunity under the Vienna Convention. If they are discovered conducting intelligence activities, they are usually expelled, not imprisoned. That is the legal framework under which most MI6 officers operate abroad. But diplomacy is only part of the picture. The real work of MI6 is human intelligence, also known as HUMINT. That means recruiting and running foreign agents. MI6 officers abroad identify individuals who have access to sensitive information in their own countries. These might be government officials, military officers, scientists, energy sector executives, cyber specialists, or individuals close to power structures. The MI6 officers' task is not to steal documents themselves. Their task is to persuade someone else to provide them. Recruitment usually begins with relationship building. This can take months or even years. Meetings may look completely ordinary. Professional networking, academic conferences, diplomatic receptions, business events. The officer assesses vulnerabilities and motivations. In intelligence language, these are often categorized as money, ideology, compromise, ego. An individual might be financially pressured. They might be ideologically aligned with Western values. They might feel overlooked in their career. Or they may simply want influence. MI6 officers are trained to identify these motivations and carefully develop relationships that lead to cooperation. Once recruited, that individual becomes an asset, a source. And managing sources is the core of MI6 overseas operations. Running an agent abroad requires extreme caution. Communication cannot be obvious. In high-risk countries, face-to-face meetings may be rare. Secure communications methods are used, which can include encrypted digital channels, dead drops, pre-arranged signals, short, discrete meetings in neutral locations. Operational security is constant. Because foreign intelligence services are always watching, countries such as Russia, China, Iran, and others devote enormous resources to counterintelligence. Their job is to identify and neutralize foreign intelligence officers, which means MI6 officers operating in these environments are often under surveillance themselves. Cars may follow them. Phones may be monitored. Residences may be searched. In some capitals, intelligence officers assume they are being watched every day. So how do they operate under surveillance? First, they plan movements carefully. Second, they avoid predictable routines. Third, they rely heavily on training in surveillance detection. Surveillance detection routes, known as SDRs, are methods used to determine whether someone is being followed. This might involve changing transportation methods, entering and exiting crowded spaces, testing whether the same individuals appear repeatedly, using controlled meeting points. If surveillance is confirmed, meetings are cancelled. The protection of sources is more important than any single intelligence report, because once a source is exposed, the consequences can be severe, including imprisonment or worse. Now let's talk about covert operations. MI6's primary function is intelligence collection, but it can also support covert action. Covert action is different from intelligence gathering. Intelligence gathering is about learning secrets. Covert action is about influencing events while concealing British involvement. This could include supporting allied governments, disrupting terrorist networks, providing intelligence to military partners, assisting resistance movements, or cyber collaboration with allied services. However, MI6 does not act independently in these matters. All significant operations require political authorization. The Foreign Secretary signs off on certain operational categories under legal frameworks. There is also oversight from parliamentary committees and legal advisors. Despite its secrecy, MI6 operates under UK law. A critical aspect of MI6's foreign operations is liaison relationships. MI6 does not work alone. It collaborates extensively with allied intelligence agencies, most notably the CIA in the United States, ASIS in Australia, CSIS in Canada, and GCHQ domestically for signals intelligence. This Five Eyes intelligence alliance allows for shared intelligence, joint operations, and coordinated global strategy. In many cases, MI6 officers abroad work closely with allied counterparts in the same country, sometimes sharing sources, sometimes dividing responsibilities, sometimes running joint operations. This multiplies capability without multiplying exposure. Technology has also transformed how MI6 operates overseas. Historically, intelligence was document-based and human network-driven. Today, cyber capabilities play a major role. While GCHQ leads signals intelligence, MI6 increasingly integrates cyber collection abroad. This may involve identifying digital vulnerabilities, mapping hostile networks, supporting cyber operations, protecting UK-linked infrastructure overseas, but human intelligence remains irreplaceable. Because governments don't write their true intentions in emails. Intentions are revealed in private conversations, and that still requires human sources. Another important function abroad is strategic forecasting. MI6 does not just collect tactical intelligence, it also assesses long-term geopolitical risks. For example, political instability in a region, leadership succession struggles, energy supply threats, emerging military doctrines, technological breakthroughs in adversarial states. Officers provide reporting that helps shape UK foreign policy, sometimes months before crises become public. This predictive function is one of MI6's most valuable contributions. Now, what happens if an MI6 officer is exposed? In countries where they operate under diplomatic cover, exposure usually leads to expulsion. The officer is declared persona non grata and required to leave. This is common in diplomatic disputes. But in countries where officers operate without diplomatic protection, known as non-official cover, risks are significantly higher. Non-official cover officers may pose as business professionals or academics without diplomatic immunity. If caught, they could face prosecution. These roles are rare and highly sensitive, and they require extensive preparation and long-term legend building, meaning fully constructed alternate identities. It's also important to understand what MI6 does not do. It does not conduct assassinations as a routine practice. It does not operate without ministerial authority. It does not act purely on its own political agenda. Its mandate is intelligence collection and national security protection, and it is accountable, though not publicly, through oversight structures. The Intelligence and Security Committee of Parliament reviews agency activity. The Investigatory Powers Commissioner reviews legality. The Prime Minister ultimately bears responsibility. Secrecy does not mean absence of structure. So what does a typical overseas MI6 officer's day actually look like? It might include meeting a source in a neutral location, writing intelligence reports for London, attending diplomatic events, monitoring political developments, conducting background research, planning future recruitment approaches, coordinating with allied services, reviewing security protocols. It is far more analytical and relational than cinematic. Success is quiet. Failures are never publicized, and most operations are never known to the public at all. Finally, how effective is MI6 abroad? By definition, most successes remain classified, but publicly acknowledged examples over decades include counter-terrorism disruption, support to UK military operations, non-proliferation intelligence, tracking hostile state actors, disrupting espionage networks, preventing attacks against British interests overseas. The agency's value lies in providing the UK government with early warning of war, early warning of terrorism, early warning of hostile state activity, early warning of emerging threats. In national security, time is advantage, and MI6's overseas mission is fundamentally about buying time. So when people ask how MI6 actually operates outside the UK, the answer is this: through embassies and diplomatic cover, through carefully recruited human sources, through secure communications and tradecraft, through alliances with trusted partners, through legal authorization and oversight, through patience, discretion and long-term strategy, not spectacle, not noise, but sustained, structured intelligence collection across the globe. Because in the modern world, the most powerful advantage a nation can have is not weapons, it is information. And MI6 exists to ensure that the United Kingdom is never operating in the dark.